Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy and welcome to 1979. Welcome to my series where I go through each year and tell you my favorite album, my favorite song, my favorite movie, and my favorite television show from each year. I started in 1955, we're all the way up to 1979. One caveat is that I have to have a physical copy of it in my collection in order to pick it. And with the television series, they are only eligible their debut season. So let's get to it. 1979 had so many great albums, and I'm kind of going to do like I did the last year, 1978, show you some of the ones that didn't quite make it into my top 5 albums. Start off with a couple CDs. Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Survival. Roxy Music, Manifesto. Bad Company. What was this album called? Yeah, Desolation Angels. Thin Lizzy, Black Rose. Donna Summer, Bad Girls. Patti Smith, Wave. David Bowie, Lodger. Nick Lowe, Labor of Love. Labor of Lust, sorry. Dave Edmunds, Repeat When Necessary. The Cars, Candio. Dire Straits, Communique. John Cougar, Self-Titled, before he became John Mellencamp. Ry Cooder, Bop Till You Drop. Bob Dylan, Slow Train Coming. J.J. Cale, 5. Randy Newman, Born Again. Cheap Trick, Dream Police. The Damned, Machine Gun Etiquette. The Jam, Setting Suns. ZZ Top, Degüello. The Beat. That's why they couldn't call it the English Beat over here in the US. This is the power pop group, The Beat. The Eagles, The Long Run. Yes, I do have a Journey out of my collection. This is Evolution. The Outlaws and The Eye of the Storm. Michael Nesmith for Sam St. John. Infinite Rider of the Big Dogma. And Styx, Cornerstone. So those are some of the ones that didn't quite make it. Let's get into my favorites. My fourth runner-up for best album, my favorite album, 1979. Graham Parker, Squeezing Out Sparks. Of course, this is my guy, Graham Parker. Some people list this as his best album, but I still prefer the first two. But this is full of well-written songs, and his band, The Rumor, are in fine form. He combined his pub rock roots with new wave elements that fit his biting lyrics. Songs like Local Girls and Discovering Japan would be a couple to check out. Of course, my favorite, Van Morrison, had a fine album this year, Into the Music. It's got some upbeat tunes, some thought-provoking ones, some spiritual overtones in some. You got the vibrant Bright Side of the Road and Full Force Gale, and the contemplative And the Healing Has Begun, and his wonderful reimagining of the wonderful Chestnut, It's All in the Game. Yeah, Van Morrison's Into the Music, my third runner-up. My second runner-up, Tom Petty, Damn the Torpedoes. This shows what a strong year this is when my favorite Tom Petty album comes in third. He has some great catchy rockers on here, like Don't Do Me Like That, Refugee, Even the Losers. And there's this up-tempo ballad, Here Comes My Girl, and the country-tinged and atmospheric contemplative closer, Louisiana Rain. Just a classic rock masterpiece. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Damn the Torpedoes. I kind of went back and forth on what my favorite album for 1979 was, but I finally figured out this was going to be number 2. Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Armed Forces. Now, this is my favorite Elvis Costello album, perfectly crafted, lyrically imaginative, pop-friendly tunes. I also prefer the US version because it has What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding on there. One of my favorite Elvis Costello songs, actually written by Nick Lowe. You got clever lyrics about with such tunes as Oliver's Army, Senior Service, Accidents Will Happen, which was used in the movie E.T. Well, one of the kids was singing that song. But it's also got Goon Squad, Chemistry Class. I could list almost every song on here, yeah. Armed Forces just comes in runner-up for me. And my favorite album of 1979 is London Calling by The Clash. Got the classic cover, modeled after the Elvis Presley cover. But one of the best double albums ever, expanding their punk rock roots with multi-genre exploration and lyrical depth. You've got the classic rock, you got punk, rockabilly, reggae, dub, pop, just a perfect track list. Some of my favorites are the title track, Charlie Don't Surf, Lost in the Supermarket, Rudy Can't Fail, Lovers Rock, and Train in Vain. Yes, so many. Every song on here is good. The Clash, London Calling. And now for my favorite song of 1979, the 4th runner-up from Ricky Lee Jones, the song Chuck E's in Love. Iconic song from Ricky Lee Jones with this beatnik jazzy style. It's based on a call from Tom Waits to their friend, real-life friend, Chuck E. Weiss, although the twist ending didn't really happen as Tom Waits was going with Ricky Lee Jones at the time, not Chuck E. But anyway, great song, Ricky Lee Jones. My 3rd runner-up from Tom Petty, it's the song Don't Do Me Like That. Damn the Torpedoes was the first Petty album I bought, and it was this song that really helped me become a fan. I would later get his earlier albums. Somehow it seemed that some people dismissed this song as generic or too catchy, but it's got that memorable hook, and it's certainly not generic for me. I just love this tune. It's got a lively track with urgent vocals by Petty. Just a perfect classic rock tune to me. Don't Do Me Like That. 2nd runner-up from the album Rust Never Sleeps by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. And it's the song Powderfinger. A Rolling Stone called it Neil Young's best song. It's probably my 2nd favorite after the Gold Rush. It has that tragic narrative about a young man and the effects of war. Some of the references make me think it's the Civil War, but anyway, it's just a great folk rock tune with some nice Neil Young guitar solos. Rust Never Sleeps and the song Powderfinger. All right, my 1st runner-up, of course, from Elvis Costello and the Attractions, and it is the song, last song on here, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. Like I said, it was not on the UK edition of this album, and I think this was the cover on the UK edition. But I just love this song. It's my favorite Elvis Costello song, even though it was penned by Nick Lowe, although there's tons of great songs on here. Of course, the original version was with Brinsley Schwartz, but their version seemed to be more tongue-in-cheek, where Elvis Costello and the Attractions took a more serious tone, with the Attractions revving things up, making this one of Costello's most energized songs. Yeah. What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding? My runner-up for my favorite song. And my favorite song from 1979, from the iconic London Calling album by The Clash. And it's the title track, London Calling, that opens side one. The apocalyptic tale still hits hard with Joe Strummer's ferocious singing and the pummeling instrumentation. It's still their most iconic track and a progression from punk music. It's also a bit self-effacing as they admit that they don't really have the answers. Maybe the best opening track of any double album, London Calling by The Clash. Now we get to my favorite film of 1979. Of course, these are my favorites, not necessarily what I think are the best films. And the fourth runner-up is Time After Time, directed by Nicholas Meyer, who also wrote the screenplay. Not well known as a director, more of as a writer. He did do a couple other Star Trek films, but this is a unique twist on the H.G. Wells classic, The Time Machine, where Jack the Ripper uses it to go to the future, and H.G. Wells, played by Malcolm McDowell, has to try and catch him before he hurts too many people. There are a lot of inferences made about modern society and how little we have progressed as a human race. In fact, Jack the Ripper finds himself more at home in the future in this movie. Time After Time is going to be my fourth runner-up. My third runner-up is Being There, directed by Hal Ashby. This is one of Peter Sellers' best roles as a simpleton gardener who gets mistaken for a financial guru. It's a satirical indictment of government, politics, the media, and discernment. It was made in 1979, but seems pretty pertinent to today's times. It also has the famous final scene that people are still debating today. Wonderful film by director Hal Ashby. Still not quite understanding the final scene on here. My second runner-up, Apocalypse Now, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Probably the best film of 1979, a masterclass in filmmaking, whereas The Deer Hunter and Saving Private Ryan are two excellent films that I really don't care to revisit. This is a tough film that I actually don't mind revisiting. It has those stunning visuals, incredible performances. I enjoy rewatching it, even though I'm not a big war movie person. But the two films ahead of it are just ones that I watch more frequently and are more enjoyable for me. But this also has an excellent use of music as well. Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola. And my first runner-up for 1979, from this Alien anthology box set. And it is, if I could get it open here, of course, Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. This is a classic horror film and unique at the time, combining the sci-fi and horror genres, a monster movie in space. The John Hurt scene is still as jarring today as it was when I first saw it, and that first time was one of the all-time scares in movies. The atmosphere is dark and shadowy and full of dread, a tribute to the cinematography of Derek Van Lint, and it was also a breakout role for Sigourney Weaver, who the crew should have listened to from the beginning. Alien, my first runner-up. But my favorite film from 1979 is Manhattan, directed by Woody Allen. This is one of Woody's most cinematic works, with beautiful black and white photography by the much decorated cinematographer Gordon Willis, who did all the Godfather films, All the President's Men, Clute, etc., and has the Gershwin music that makes it kind of a love letter to New York, with Alan, his usual neurotic character who dates his best friend's mistress, played by Diane Keaton, who we unfortunately lost recently. And he also dates a 17-year-old high school student, played by Mariel Hemingway. Sounds pretty cringeworthy, but it works, with Hemingway's character seeming to be the most adult in the room. It's a real charmer, Manhattan. 1979 was not a great year for debuts in television, so I only have 4. There's one that I'd like to mention, though, and that was the beginning of Nightline, with probably the best interviewer in television, Ted Koppel. Of course, I don't think they have videos for that. But anyway, let's start up the third runner-up. It's going to be Heart to Heart. This is a complete series. Fun frivolity with Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers, a jet-setting wealthy couple that finds them doing detective work on the side. Like I said, somewhat campy but fun, with the highlight being character actor Lionel Stander as the chauffeur, butler, cook, etc. It's not even shown on the cover of this, but yeah, Heart to Heart. The second runner-up, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. This is a nice release put out by Kino Lorber with some nice audio commentaries on here as well. Anyway, it's a fun series about an astronaut played by Gil Gerard who emerges from suspended animation 500 years in the future. His interactions with by-the-book fighter pilot played by lovely Erin Gray were always entertaining. There you see Gil Gerard and then Erin Gray. Gerard seemed to be the most uncoordinated, in-shape actor of all time, although they did try to hide it in the fight sequences, but you can still tell. But episodes with Draconian Princess Ardala, played by Pamela Hensley, were also highlights. Yeah. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, my second runner-up. My first runner-up for 1979, Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected. This is a British anthology series with many of the episodes based on short stories by British author Roald Dahl, who is known also as a children's literature author. Many of the episodes were satiric in nature, with most having twist endings, with a wide variety of genres: comedy, drama, horror, thrillers, and mystery. Yeah. Tales of the Unexpected by first runner-up. And my favorite series of 1979, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This was another British series, a mini-series of 6 episodes with Alec Guinness as an espionage veteran coming out of retirement to find a mole in British intelligence during the Cold War. If you were expecting a Bourne Identity type spy movie, you'll find this kind of slow moving as it takes a more cerebral approach, unraveling a complex plot. It's based on a John le Carre novel, and he has stated that this is his favorite adaptation. So my favorite television show of 1979, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And that's it. Let me know some of your favorites that I didn't mention, or ones that maybe I showed at the beginning that I didn't pick. But anyway, have fun, and I'll see you in 1980.